It's September, and a lot of games are coming out in the next few weeks. I want to go over the highlights and kind of talk you through it. Of course, let me know what you're looking forward to in the comments down below or in the chat if you're watching live. So I'm over on GameSpot because they got some nice images too. Hirogami, a 3D platformer. Not really my cup of tea. Of course, we got the Indiana Jones The Great Circle, Order of the Giants DLC. If you actually have the more expensive edition, you can just play this. It is included. And of course, it's also on PS5. I still need to play the game. I waited for the PS5 version. Then, of course, in April, a lot of other stuff happened. I'm still on the fence if I should go back and play it. Star Wars Outlaws is coming to Switch too. Yeah, I'm curious if that system can run it and if it will help, because of course we know the game did not do as well as Ubisoft had hoped. Let's continue to like the first big one here. We're still on September 4th. Like there are like a million games coming out on September 4th, but the big one is Hollow Knight Silksong. Let's see. We actually got confirmation that the game will release on September 4th, of course, and that it will have a dedicated time. So normally on console, a game, or like usually on console, a game of course launches at midnight. For Hollow Knight Silksong, they want to launch it on the same time, at the same time for everyone. So you see the times right here, and they're only charging $20 for it. That's $5 more than the first Hollow Knight. They could have charged way more, and people would have been buying it anyways. But no, I think $20 is kind of wild. Looking at what other games, like for example, Ubisoft put out Prince of Persia, that roguelike game, for $30. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown was $50. And they're charging $20 for Hollow Knight. This game will sell millions in the first day. It will break even easily. And yeah, maybe for $20, even more people who are like, I'm just curious because the hype is huge, will check it out as well. I'll be picking it up as well. I'm curious for sure. I hope it can live up to the hype, because that would mean it's another Game of the Year contender. Then we got Hell is Us. We actually just got the Metacritic for it. It's a 79, which is pretty good for a game from a relatively small studio, of course, their first project. But what people are really saying is that, yeah, it's basically, if you like to figure stuff out yourself, this is gonna be a game for you. Third-person action, you're talking to people, you're finding stuff, they point you in the direction of where you need to go. Yeah, it's really, if you like that type of game, if you don't like the AAA hand-holdy stuff that is of course going on in those titles, yeah, you might want to check this out. There is a demo for it too. So September 4th is also when it's coming out. And then we got another kind of AA interesting game that I really hope delivers. It's the new game from Blooper Team. Of course, they did The Medium last year, Silent Hill 2 remake, and now it's Cronos, The New Dawn. It's basically Resident Evil meets Dead Space. You're this traveler, and yeah, you're going back in time basically to extract some doctors or other people that could be of value in the current time, because Earth has been overrun by scary monsters that are made of human flesh. And yeah, you have your weapons and stuff to take them out. And again, I just hope, I think it's always cool that like they're trying a new IP. They have been, of course, doing the Silent Hill 2 remake that worked out really well. I would argue that's probably a different team inside Blooper. They have a pretty sizable development team. But no, I'm curious, and I hope that this works out for them. But if you're like on the fence, hopefully they do a demo. But I also think they might do like a promotion already during Halloween, where they might be like 30% off or something. So might be worth waiting on if you're on a fence. Just a prediction that I have, would make sense in my opinion. Everybody's Golf, Hot Shots, Demon X Machina. I know people are looking into that. It's not really for me. NBA, of course, dropping their game. I know from the investor call, I'm a crazy person. I listen to the investor calls from these companies because they give very interesting insights. That NBA 2K25 did actually very well for them. So yeah, seemingly they're going to continue with that. It's still coming out on PS4 and Xbox One, which is crazy to me. But yeah, that's of course, with these sports games, I will do a PlayStation 6 video as well. Maybe it's already up by the time you watch this. And there I talk about why these consoles are still being supported and what Sony is trying to do to get people off the PS4 onto the PlayStation 6. Yes, it's pretty interesting stuff. Garfield Kart, of course, why not? And then we got the big one, Borderlands 4. And this is really going to be one of the biggest games of the year in terms of, yeah, popularity. It has been 6 years since Borderlands 3. And, like, you could argue that they're playing it pretty safe. It's more Borderlands. If you show this to someone, they're like, yeah, it looks like Borderlands 3. It looks like all the other Borderlandses. But they're actually, if you look under the hood, they're actually trying a lot of different stuff. We already saw the grapple hook in action. I'm really curious about the open zones. They have 4 open zones that you can explore. So they're adding more of the sort of things that I like from an open world RPG, where you can run into a big monster and, yeah, maybe get a legendary weapon by searching for a chest. You can find vault keys to then enter a vault. We see one of the 4 vault hunters right now. Of course, they have more depth this time. Yeah, they already announced a pretty extensive post-launch for if you want to play this for a long time. I really think that, I mean, I love the Borderlands 3 post-launch. I'm actually pretty excited to jump into this. My only thing is that it's launching around other things that I want to sink a lot of time into. So let's get to those things. So this is September 12th, as you can see. And if we then move on, Lego Voyagers, I want to shout this one out. Maybe you remember it from the State of Play, but it's basically It Takes Two with very tiny yellow bricks. So that's another game that is coming out in September here, a co-op journey. Of course, It Takes Two did very well, so it makes sense that there are companies like Little Nightmares 3 that is coming out in October, is also really inspired by It Takes Two. So it makes sense that more companies are looking into this co-op adventures type of game. But yeah, maybe you are into it. It's of course a nice family game. Skate, of course, kind of out of nowhere dropped their date. Their early access date will be September 16th. Still coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Crazy to think about. Let's look at some gameplay. I've not looked that up. So yeah, it's like an open world skateboarding game, of course. Really not for me. I'm like not into this scene at all. But I think, of course, the meme has been very funny for the last 10 years or longer. I don't even know. Every time you went to an EA Instagram post or another social post, people would not be reacting to the Sims news or whatever news they would share on that social media. Everyone would just be spamming Skate 4, question mark. So those people better show up for this because, yeah, they've been working on it for a long time. I'm curious if they can make this a thing. They really want to make this, of course, a huge live service platform. And yeah, you can skate around in a big open world. Curious if it lands for them, but that is certainly another, yeah, semi-big title that people have been looking for. And it's on September 16th. So the other game, or actually game update that I will be sinking a lot of time into, that all the September release calendars that I looked for did not include. Well, I think it's 10 hours of new content for one of the biggest games of the year. I'm a bit biased. I love Assassin's Creed, of course, but still. Yeah, the Claws of Waji DLC taking place after the ending of Shadows. So people are saying, whoa, we finally get the real ending. Well, my prediction has always been that there's going to be a second DLC. So there will be another cliffhanger likely in this DLC. But that's kind of what they're trying to do differently. Instead of having DLCs that take place during the game, they now want to just continue the story. So it's more meaningful for people. I'm curious if they're going to do a boost. But I don't think that makes sense, right? So a boost, they did that for the other games as well, where, hey, you can just boost the character to the max level and immediately play the DLC if you're only interested in that. We will see, but yeah, it gets a new weapon type for Naue, so we can use that. And again, it lets Naue meet someone she has been looking for. September 16th, 10 hours of new content. I am totally excited for that, of course. Frostpunk has been delayed a couple of times, but it's now hitting on September 18th for console. And then the other big one that I've been alluding to with the Borderlands, Assassin's Creed, Dying Light the Beast. I've played a lot of Dying Light 2. Some streamers and creators were actually able to play like a demo for it. But yeah, I think the world in particular, the really like cool overgrown city, looks very, very awesome. It's Dying Light 2, basically, but they just enhanced a lot of systems. Dying Light 2 came out 2023, right? Yeah, just before Horizon Forbidden West. Was that? It was 2022. I always forget what like the Elden Ring time as well. So yeah, they it's been a while actually for some like a meaningful Dying Light game. I'm curious if it will be meaningful though. Like I am curious if the story can land. I do think that's gonna be very important. But yeah, it's more Dying Light, but in a very cool setting with a lot of new weapons. Like look at the map; it's pretty huge. I think it's like 20 hours. But yeah, it's cool that we can immediately use the firearms that were missing from the first or from the second Dying Light, and then later added. So basically, if you play Dying Light 2 at launch, this will feel like kind of a new game in a way. But obviously, it is more Dying Light in general. I'm looking forward to it though. Although, it is Shadows, Borderlands 4, Dying Light. So if I'm like knees deep, if I don't get like an early code for that, I don't know. It really depends on how everything shakes out for that. Let's see, do we have more stuff? Yeah, Baby Steps. A lot of games actually got delayed because of Hollow Knight Silksong, so Baby Steps now 2 weeks later. Yeah, that's the game where you fall a lot. It has been in many state of play. Sony actually believes a lot in this title. So yeah, I hope they deliver on that. It's not really a game for me. Slime Rancher 2, that's actually pretty big that it's coming out. I know people love the first one. And then we got Silent Hill F, which I think is the other kind of big, more AAA type game. Only this one seems to be more focused on the action. IGN did a preview and they really, really liked it. So we have to wait and see. I think the enemy design looks awesome. The world is pretty awesome too. But yeah, it seems like there are... I'm just not sure about the combat yet. But yeah, this little girl can take a lot of hits and really swing these weapons around with a lot of strength, which is kind of interesting. But you got your boss fights. She got a Yari now. Why not? Or actually a Naginata. I don't know. I hope it delivers. Obviously. I think it's at least cool that they're also making new Silent Hill games. I think the writer on this is actually pretty good. So, hopefully it delivers. I'm not really a horror fan. But again, this looks more like an action game where this boss is like teleporting around. You have to figure out their moves. And IGN, again, was... After the 5 hours, they were pretty excited about it. Of course, there you got Sonic Racing Crossworlds as well. With like SpongeBob and Steve from Minecraft. Then we got some other games right here, of course. EA Sports FC dropping as well. Big for people who are, of course, into that. Oh, the Final Fantasy Tactics remake is coming. That's awesome. That was, of course, heavily rumored, and now it's almost here. I love this game. I've played it quite a lot, actually, but that was a really long time ago. We got an Alien game. I did not even know about this for VR. Oh, was not a good game when it launched on VR last year, but it could... But could the upcoming PC re-release improve it? Okay. Well, I'm not convinced that it will. And we got more Nickelodeon stuff. And that is kind of it for September. With, of course, October being Yote immediately on October 2nd. So you could argue that you might want to skip some September games to save up money for Yote. That will, of course, eat up a lot of your time. Battlefield 6 next month as well. We'll then do another roundup like this. I hope you enjoyed that. If you got feedback, let me know. And, of course, subscribe. Again, let me know which game you're going to get in the comments down below. And I will speak to you soon. Goodbye.